Hey guys, what's up? My name is Carnage, and today I'm bringing you a Domination on Arcadian using the P90 with the silencer and extended mags attachment, I do believe. Actually, my bad. Silencer with rapid fire attachment using the perks of Extreme Conditioning Pro, Quickdraw Pro, and Dead Silence Pro. Obviously using it with the proficiency of attachments, and my specialist kill streak perks are Sleight of Hand Pro, Steady Aim Pro, and Hardline Pro. I do not get a MOAB this game. I actually have 2 MOAB fails. You'll see during the game I ended 52-6, so it was still a respectable score, especially with the fact that none of the kills came from MOABs, which, I mean, usually you can say at least 4 or 5 kills come from, if you were to get 2 MOABs, you'd get at least 4 or 5, because that's averaging 2 or 3 kills per MOAB. I start off really nice here, getting up to my my second kill streak perk thing, but unfortunately it doesn't end off that well. This is quite an old game. I'm surprised I don't remember it. So I mean, it might be surprising if I don't remember it that well, but I'm not gonna really talk about gameplay all that much. I kind of wanted to talk about college orientation and give a story that I have that was kind of interesting, to say the least, in my opinion. You guys might find it pointless or funny. I mean, I'll let you guys be the deciders of that. But to me personally, I found it funny. Oh God, get fucking turned on. Anyways, so today I attended my college orientation at California State University, San Marcos, and what was interesting, originally for like the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, I'd been asking people who had gone there or had gone to orientation already, saying, do they really need all 9 hours? Because that's how long the orientation was for me. It was from 8 to 5, and I actually had to stay till 6 because it took them forever to get the ID pictures done for the colleges, which that's a totally different story, but anyways, so for the first 3 hours, basically it was just a bunch of people talking to like the incoming freshmen, including me, saying like, oh, what San Marcos is about, and like what the kind of people they are, and that kind of stuff. You know, the normal type of stuff that you would expect if you were going to a high school or college, middle school, the kind of typical orientation stuff you would expect. But the next thing that we talked about was not something I was expecting. So basically what happened is, right after that, there was about in the beginning, there was about 2 people. One person was a former professor and former dean of the college, and she was just talking about what it's about and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a current professor talking about just like what teachers expect and that kind of stuff, which was, you know, it was interesting to hear, but it wasn't something that was like eye-popping or jaw-dropping, that kind of stuff, where it's like stuff you've never heard before. But what was funny was the next thing that came in, and I could kind of tell from the beginning that it was going to be a little bit different of a conversation, just by the way that you looked at the 2 people who had talked before, and then like the way they acted, they dressed, their manners, and that kind of stuff, and then you looked at her, and it was much different, to say the least. So what happened is, right after she comes up, and she just comes up and she says, we're gonna talk about sexual assault. And I was like, okay, cool. That's not what I was expecting, but sure, let's do that. And so she plays this video and just talking about like how rape is like not good and that kind of stuff, which is, you know, it's stuff that you obviously knew about. It's not like, oh yeah, rape, awesome, that kind of stuff. No, it's not. It's obviously not a good thing to do or experience, but the thing was, it was almost like she expected all of us to be like sexual predators, because you could tell she was a feminist to begin with, because instead of saying victim all the time, she'd kind of slip and say woman. It's never the woman, I mean victim's fault, or that kind of stuff, and it was really ticking me off. It was like, you know what, okay, calm down. I mean, it's not every single guy you meet is a freaking rapist. It was really starting to irritate me personally, but that's just me. So anyways, she just gets to talking about like what no means no sounds like, and she's like, if the person's passed out, that means no, but if the person's like, yeah baby, fuck me harder, come on, do it like that, then that's probably a yes. And it was really funny, because she was going like all into like talking like how a normal high schooler or college person talks, where you don't really have restraint for curse words. It's not like if someone says fuck, you're gonna go batshit insane and just be like, how could you say something like that? How you kiss your mother with that mouth and that kind of stuff? And it's like, wow. But it was like, but you could tell that the 2 people talking before were total PG like kind of stuff, because they probably grew up in an era when that shit wasn't allowed, whereas now it's much more acceptable. It's not like, you just are like kicked out of school for saying shit or whatever. So it was it was funny how she went in a completely different direction. But yeah. So and she kept preaching like all this like hate speech about how like guys are always the reason that women get raped, which I mean, let me put it this way. Victims are not the reason for the rape, but I mean, it's not always a guy that's the rapist, to say the least. It's 90% of the time, yeah. All the time, no. So, anyways, that was that was my interesting orientation story. Not exactly something I was expecting when I was attending a college that I'm going to be spending the next 4 years at, that I was going to learn about what sexual assault sounds and looks like. But yeah, it was an interesting story. It was an interesting memory, to say the least. But so that was basically my orientation day. It took 10 hours. It was really, really fucking tiring. I got out of it, and I was like, oh, man, I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. I'll just go lay down. And here I'm going to town on these guys, but unfortunately the spawn got flipped a little because my teammates were not, had triple cap. For some reason, I don't understand why people tend to triple cap. It's like, if you're holding on to 2 and someone's got 1, I think we can do the simple math that 2 is going to get to 200 faster than 1 is. And some people don't seem to grasp that simple concept. And it really ticks me off, especially this does right here. Freaking panic knife when I'm so close to a MOAB. And it would have been a quick one. I think that would have been under 2 minutes. And I've only had, I think, 2 MOABs under 2 minutes. But, hell, I'm going to search and destroy now from now on. So, I honestly could care less about search and destroy. And speaking of MOABs and search and destroy, my opinion on search and destroy MOABs is I don't find them personally, I don't find them impressive unless you're doing it by yourself, where like you're playing singular, you're playing solo, and you happen to get 24 kills in a game, which that's impressive. When you're having to fight for kills along your teammates, but if you're doing it with a bunch of riot shielders, it's not as impressive, especially because usually people that do riot shielders, they probably have their teammates usually running recon and flash grenades, so half the kills they don't even have to find, they're right next to them. All they got to do is sit behind their head glitch spot with an ACR, and they're going to be good to go. And I'm not saying that I could do this nonstop. I'm just saying this is my opinion. So that's all I have to say about it. To me, real S&D is playing to win the game, and if you happen to get a good score, cool. The same that any other game is, any other game type. TDM, there's no point in going 40-0 if your team doesn't win. It's nice to say you went 40-0. But are you going to remember it because you went 40-0, or are you going to remember it that I went 40-0, my team still couldn't win? That's the way I remember it personally. So, good scores mean nothing if you don't win, which is why I'm glad that that Call of Duty is starting to take stances to where if you play the objective, you're going to get rewarded. Now, obviously, you're not going to get rewarded as much as like an AC-130, but they do need to reward you for capturing flags and that kind of stuff, which I like what they do, where it gives you a point towards it, but I think they should put a limit on it to where if you cap 6 flags in a life, I don't think that should give you 6 total. I think it should be like once you get to 3, then you have to start getting 2 flags equals 1, then 3 flags equals another, to where like you can't just fully get an AC-130 from getting no kills. It makes that way it makes it important to capture flags, but it doesn't mean the person's going to go out of their way and triple cap when they obviously should not, because it's not for the betterment of the team. And look at that kill. I mean, those are just 2 great examples. That's just a great example of how I die in this game. And another reason why I switched to S&D from now on. But hopefully you guys enjoy this gameplay. If you did, go and give it a like rating down below. With that being said, guys, I'll see you all later. Bye.